we can change that, how architects can be involved in that change. Because this the recommendation is that we get to net zero by, well, as soon as possible, but 2050 seems to be the kind of the cut-off point. Are occupied by English National Opera. This is London's only lighthouse. It's not a navigational aid. It was for training and testing lighthouses. This is all Victorian, so built around 1860.
The built environment, internal and external, so not just indoors but also outdoors. We'll be looking at the influence of climate, form and orientation on building design. We'll be looking at methods for investigating potential design strategies for creating comfortable indoor environments. And this is at the heart of the European Green Deal and in line with the EU's commitment to global change under the Paris Agreement. Okay, so this was kind of the most important. There are many more, but these are kind of the most important milestones that have been happening as a global response towards sustainability and zero carbon or carbon neutral. And then obviously there came the bottom-up grassroots approaches as well and responses to the climate change. And we all know Greta Thunberg, and she started it by being, by just going on her own, and kind of this then raised attention of the whole world, fighting kind of checklist for chartered architects to try and follow to enable them to achieve a net zero by 2030, by 2050. Buildings are actually existing, and they're not the new ones. So they suggest that. In 2020, 10% of all design new buildings are zero carbon.
Will be reproducible on the drawing board. So if room is like this, again, it's not accurate rectangular or square. All the room is twisted, then utilize, divided into the 4 triangular, and record the dimension of each side. Then you will be able to reproduce at a later date on the drawing board.
is not just doing what came before us, where we are more able to say, how can we do this better as architects? And it says here, and they wanted people to be more responsive, the architect to be more responsive, the community to be more responsive, though not reject, right? So it's not about saying we don't want to engage, it's about saying we want to engage, but in a critical way with the urban environment. At the time, incredibly visionary, but also crazy solutions, maybe you can call them, I call them speculative solutions. This is Walking City, which was about turning the city on its head and thinking what happens if instead of you going to the cities come to you. And there are different ways in which they interject with technology as it's coming and with the machine, as the industrial changes in the production, and how then you start to plug into certain cities, so you plug into the electricity, you plug into the water system and so on, as opposed to the other way.
Any sense?
Is everyone having a good time tonight?